Hi, my name is Ng Xiang Yi, metric number 273345. Now, I would like to present about the background of companies. First is Kenhin International Berhad. It was incorporated in 2003 and is based in Shah Alam. It is principally engaged in sheet metal forming, precision machining, electroplating, component assembly, and manufacture and sales of gas appliances. It is also involved in manufacturing and fabrication of tools and dies and assembly of components and subleasing of unused factories and warehouses. Next, Keck Seng Malaysia Berhad. It is a public listed company in Busan, Malaysia since 1976 and is based in Johor Bahru. It is engaged in the cultivation of oil palm and cocoa, processing and marketing refined palm oil products. Through its subsidiary, it also develops housing, invests in properties, manage golf clubs, and operate hotels. It also manufactures and trades nutraceutical and healthcare materials. Then, Kawan Food Berhad. It was incorporated in 2004 and is based in Shah Alam. It is a manufacturer and exporter of frozen Asian food products. It sells the product throughout many countries such as Canada, US, UK, Germany, New Zealand, Indonesia, Australia, Hong Kong, China, Singapore, and others. Fourth is K Seng Seng Corporation Berhad. It was established in 1985 and listed on the Bursa Malaysia on 15th of July 2009. It is principally involved in the manufacturing of secondary stainless steel products, processing of secondary stainless steel and long products, and trading of industrial hardware. Lastly, Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad. It was incorporated on 11th of August 1975. The company has core investment in the manufacturing sector as well as business in the trading, licensing, and infrastructure sectors.
Hi, my name is Tan Wee and my entry number is 273110. Now I would like to present disclosure of MFRS 110 event after reporting period. According to MFRS 110 event after reporting period, they consist of two types of event, which are adjusting event and non-adjusting event. Adjusting event is the event that exists at the end of the reporting period and is required adjustment to the amount that had been recognized in the financial statement before they are issued. Meanwhile, non-adjusting event is the indicative of condition that arose after the reporting period and it requires disclosure, not an adjustment. This event provides evidence that did not exist at the end of the reporting period. First, we will look at the Kim Heng International Berhad, which is the sector of industry, product, and service. For this company, there is two adjusting events in 2018 and there is no subsequent event after the end of the financial year 2019. The two adjusting events are first, KHIV, a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, entered into supplementary land lease agreement with third party with completed date of 18 June 2018 with the amount of 1,949,868 ringgit. On 26 June 2018, the company had entered into a transfer agreement with the vendor for acquisition with the amount of $1 million. Next, we will discuss the Keck Seng Malaysia Berhad, which is also the industry, products, and service. For this company, there is no subsequent event after the end of the financial year 2018 and two non-adjusting events in 2019. There is ongoing pandemic of COVID-19 disease since the beginning of 2020 and the group has seen a downward in fair value of certain investment securities subsequent to year end. Next, we will discuss the Kawan Food Berhad, which is the customer product and service. There is total 3 non-adjusting events in 2018 and 2019. First, we will look at the annual report 2018. The company declared an interim single trial dividend on 4 March 2019. While based on annual report 2019, the company has subscribed 122 million redeemable convertible preference share at an issue price of RM1 per share in ordinary share on 1 January 2020, and the amount of 122 millions need to disclosure in the financial statement. Besides, ongoing pandemic of COVID-19 disease since the beginning of 2020 also is considered as non-adjusting event. Next, we will discuss about the K Sing Sing Corporation Berhad, which is the industrial product and service. There is no subsequent event after the end of the financial year 2018 and only one non-adjusting event in 2019. There is ongoing pandemic of COVID-19 disease since the beginning of 2020.
Hi, I'm Floating, metric number 273285. I will continue to present the disclosures of MFRS 110 for Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad. This company is under sector industrial products and services. For the year 2018, there are 14 subsequent events, and 13 of them are adjusting events, because those events are happens before the end of the reporting period. Here are the first 7 adjusting events. The first event is terminations of lease agreements. Amounts involved 3,820,489 ringgit 66 cents. Next, incorporations of King Koi Manufacturing West. Next, acquisitions of 100% equity interest in CPI by the company and its nominees. Amounts involved 250 million. Next, internal reorganizations of an indirect subsidiary. Next, bonus issues of new ordinary shares in the company. Next, extensions of Aqua Flow Sdn Bhd contracts. Amounts involved 25.1 million. Next, acceptance of letters of awards. Amounts involved 20 million. Here are the other 6 adjusting events and 1 non-adjusting event. The 8th event is disposals of Sangrins Global Sdn Bhd. Amounts involved 1 million. Next, incorporations of Perangsang Capital Sdn Bhd. Next, enter framework agreements. Amounts involved 162.5 million. Next, disposals of Sirius Telecom Sdn Bhd. Amounts involved 100,000. Next, proposed disposal of Britos International's Hotel Sdn Bhd. Amounts involved 26 million. Next, proposed disposals of 100% equity interest. Amounts involved 2.55 million. The last event is the only non-adjusting event in the year 2018. Because this event happens after the end of the reporting period. This event is issues of 300 million in nominal values. The amount involved is 300 million. For the year 2019, there are 13 subsequent events. 8 of them are adjusting events and the other 5 are non-adjusting events. Here are the first 7 adjusting events. The first event is disposal of property. Amount involved 26 million. Next, disposal of 100% equity interest. Amount involved 1.9 billion. Next, issuance of 300 million in nominal values. Amount involved 300 million. Next, selective capital reductions and repayments exercise. Next, acquisitions of 100% equity interest. Amounts involved 311,250,000. Next, proposed offer to purchase all the securities by Minister of Finance. Next, acquisitions of 85% shareholdings. Amounts involved 21.25 million. The next adjusting event is joint venture agreements, and the rest are non-adjusting events. The first non-adjusting event is incorporations of Infinity Packaging Solutions Sdn Bhd. Next, incorporations of Polyplus Package Sdn Bhd. Next, acquisitions of PT Infinity Packaging Solutions. Amounts involved 1.3 million. Next, extensions of contracts times. And the last one is ongoing pandemic of COVID-19 since the beginning of 2020.
Hello, I'm Wing Hong and my message number is 273430. I would like to continue the presentation with financial ratio analysis. First is quick ratio. The quick ratio measures the ability of a firm to pay all of its current liability if they come due immediately. This table and graph show the quick ratio of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. In general, all of the companies have their quick ratio above 1. This shows that they have good liquidity even after eliminating the consideration of their inventories. Similarly, KSM Malaysia Berhad has the highest value of quick ratio, which is 7.79 times in 2018 and 2.94 times in 2019. This signifies that it contains a lot of current assets for satisfying its current liabilities. Next is inventory efficiency ratio. Inventory efficiency ratio is a measure of the number of times inventory is sold during a year. This table and graph show the inventory efficiency ratio of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. According to the result, most of the companies have their inventory efficiency ratio around 5 to 10 times. This shows that they have a high efficiency for their inventory management and high moving of inventory in the companies. However, K Sing Sing Corporation Berhad has the lowest inventory efficiency ratio among the 5 companies, which are just 1.81 times in 2018 and 1.63 times in 2019. This shows that K Sin Seng Corporation Berhad has a slower moving of inventory and it has to improve its inventory management in the future. Then is trade receivable days. Trade receivable days is the number of days on average which a company takes to collect its accounts receivable. This table and graph show the trade receivable days of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. Based on the graph above, we can conclude that K Sin Seng Corporation Berhad has the highest trade receivable days, which is 145.35 days in 2018 and 127.87 days in 2019. This shows that it is having a poor receivable collection management. On the other hand, K Sin Malaysia Berhad has the lowest trade receivable days, which is 22.35 days in 2018 and 18.98 days in 2019. This shows that it is excellent in its receivable management and is increasing its efficiency as it has improved and reached 18.98 trade receivable days in 2019. Generally, most of the company can maintain its trade receivable of 100 or below except for K Sin Seng Corporation Berhad and Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad. The next financial ratio is trade payable days. Trade payable days is the number of days on average which a company takes to pay its suppliers. This table and graph show the trade payable days of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. Overall, all the companies have trade payable days of between 20 to 80 days. This shows that all the companies are efficient in clearing their short-term obligation. Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad has the highest trade payable days among the 5 companies, which is 79.99 days in 2018 and 78.16 days in 2019. Meanwhile, both K Sin Malaysia Berhad and K Sin Seng Corporation Berhad has the trade payable days for below 40 days in 2018 and 2019. Then is sales to working capital ratio. Sales to working capital ratio measures the efficiency of companies' working capital utilization in order to generate the certain level of sales. This table and graph show the sales to working capital ratio of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. From the result above, we can see that all the 5 companies have the sales to working capital ratio at a positive figure. This shows that all the 5 companies are efficient in utilizing their current assets and liabilities to generate sales for their companies. Most of the companies have an increasing trend for their sales to working capital ratio except for Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad. The sales to working capital ratio of Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad has decreased from 4.02 times in 2018 to 3.55 times in 2019. Moreover, K Sin Seng Corporation Berhad has the lowest sales to working capital ratio, which is 1.25 times in 2018 and 1.28 times in 2019. Last is working capital. Working capital is the capital of the business which is used in its day-to-day trading operations. This table and graph show the working capitals of the 5 companies in 2018 and 2019. Based on the graph above, it is shown that all the companies have a positive working capital to maintain its day-to-day trading operations. Most of the companies have the working capital below 150 million except for Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad. Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad has the highest value of working capital, which is 144 million in 2018 and 244 million in 2019. This shows that Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor Berhad has a significant high and enough working capital for its day-to-day operation as it has a relatively higher inventory and receivable than its payable in the recent 2 years.
Now I would like to continue the presentation with conclusions. From this project, we are able to analyze the company's performance based on working capital management. We are also able to understand and clarify the concept of MARS 110. So, we can know every company has different accounting treatment to different adjusting events, and how the company discloses the event after the reporting period. Next, we are able to identify and understand how the auditor addressed each issue in the key audit matter to provide significant event judgment and how it reflects in the financial statement of the company for each year. Moreover, we are able to compare the computed ratio to analyze the efficiency of a company operations.